Oklahoma credit, found a way to stop us at the end. You know, really, our rules being, as far as people ask, why go on a two-point play, our rules always been on the ready to go get it. They had no time left. And to be honest, if he didn't knock it down, there's a guy open in the back of the end zone. Really, if there was a mistake made, we shouldn't have went for too early in the first half, and then you'd had the point, and then just kicking the extra point wins it. So for us, you got to give Coach Stoops and his staff and their kids a lot of credit. Came out and played hard, and you got to give ours a lot of credit. It was a great ball game. You can't turn the ball over. You got to tackle and can't get the ball thrown over your head. But our kids fought back, played the way they needed to, and showed they're the kind of team they need to play without your All-American wide receiver, your quarterback, your center, and everybody else that's been gone all year, and be able to come into Norman, Oklahoma, and about win a ball game is, I give a lot of credit to my kids and my staff. So now we got to get ready for Baylor.
So, Coach, if you'd had those three guys and you were going for a tie on the road, you wouldn't have.
No, I wouldn't have gone on the. Never gone into a tie. Didn't do it at West Virginia. You can watch my history. They had no timeouts left. If we make it, 50 seconds. You got a long way to go. You got a ball game next Friday. You go to 3 overtimes. You got no chance to win a ball game next week. The bottom line, if there was ever a mistake made, it was made because we should have kicked an extra point in the second quarter. But as far as going for 2, it's one of those calls where you go for it. If you make it, you're a hero. If you don't make it, then. But it's not many people can come into Norman, Oklahoma, and win a ball game. So we didn't come here to hang around. And we struggled in the red zone a little bit. So and they had the better running game. So we needed to make sure that we're going to do it. We need to go take it. So.
You weren't even tempted. You all had done a really great job on defense in the second half against Trevor Knight. You weren't even tempted by that.
No, with the 2 running backs, 3 on whatever it is they ran for. You know, when you get down and you get into overtime, you're talking about a team that can run the football. So I was a little bit worried about. We lost some guys tonight, along with everything else. So it was one of those things where I've left places where we won and where we made that decision. And
how confident were you on the last play going into it?
Good. Wouldn't have did it if we didn't do it.
What about that defense for you in the second half?
We played really good red zone. Oklahoma was 4 of 20. Not just with Trevor Knight. They were, bottom line is we didn't tackle very well. Denzel Johnson went down in the first quarter, so it hurt us. We had to move Traven back, so we had to play Alec Dunham and do some things. It took us out of some of our dime and nickel stuff that was giving them trouble. And that's why we had a couple timeouts, because we were running guys that hadn't been running in and out. And so there was a little bit of confusion of what they needed to do, but once we got it corrected, then you had a chance. So.
What do you think about the job Bram did?
Oh yeah, I was very excited about. Here's something nobody knows. Okay? Everything else has happened to us. 2 weeks ago on that Saturday, Bram Kohlhausen's dad passed away. Nobody knew it. He went home, and guess what? I said, stay home as long as you want. He was back on Tuesday. I got a coach going through cancer treatment nobody knows about. But he didn't have to take a leave of absence. No, I'm in for the long haul. He goes every morning, gets his treatment, then he comes to our staff meeting. The bottom line is this team and this staff have fought their tails off. And, we got one more game, then we'll have a bowl game. But the key to all this is that, it's like I told them, they got to believe when they walk out there they can do that. We can't turn the ball over. You can't it's not the YMCA. We don't just throw it up everywhere. You can't run this offense if you're going to turn it over. The difference in time of possession, there was another thing that was a big key for me of deciding about going on 2. So, yes?
How did Foster react after the first pick? I thought he was kind of going pretty good the first
I
drive.
didn't ask him.
All of a sudden.
Obviously, after a couple of them, he didn't get a chance to do that anymore, and he'll have to learn not to be able to do that.
Your decision to go with him over Bram, what was that based on?
Just the way he played the week before.
How's the team's confidence coming into that?
Good. You know, no one talking 9-1 football team. I mean, that's 9-1 football team is playing 30 freshmen that didn't play with their All-American quarterback, didn't play with their All-American wide receiver, didn't play with their All-Conference center. I mean, it's got to give them a lot of credit. I mean, there's no exact answers to any of this, except you got to go. You were 1 point short, and we make it. We had been 1 point ahead. So for us, you know, I'm a hero of West Virginia, and I'm the GOAT at Norman. But the bottom line is, there's not anybody in our sideline, player-wise, that wanted to go for one. They came here to win. You saw a tweet out today. I got tired of listening to people's excuses. We don't make TCU doesn't make excuses. That's why we've stayed around as long as we've stayed around. We don't make excuses. We came here to win. I said, let the chips fall where they may. And that's exactly how it all went down. We came here for one reason. Nobody else gave a count. Everybody else came here to watch you get beat by 50. Okay, so for us, again, I go back to the beginning. You got to give Oklahoma and Coach Stoops a lot of credit. Had a big win, very emotional game last week. Probably not as much emotion this week. They lose their quarterback, but it was a physical ball game. Our kids battled and did what they needed to do. I was proud of them. And so now you go on. Now you're 9-2, and now you're going to try to get to 10-2.
What did you and Bob talk about on the field after the game?
Well, I mean, every ball game we've had in the last 5 years has been 7 points or less. It's kind of like great battle. You know, it's a gutsy decision to try to go for two, and it's what do you do?
He didn't say, Gary, are you trying to kill me?
No, I'm not. You know, he's a good man. I like him a lot. You know, I like the team a lot. I mean, it's one of the differences for me and then anybody else. It's, you know, you recruit so many of these kids, so you know so many of them. You got to battle on the field. One of the things it's always been is there's never been bad blood between Oklahoma and TCU. There have been heavy competition, but there's never been bad blood, which is exactly the way I think college football is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be exactly what I saw out there today, guys battling and doing the things they needed to do and going about their business. A lot of respect for the program and everything they do. I mean, it's really both programs, them and Oklahoma State, the last, 2 out of the last 3 weeks coming up here, been very impressed with the fans and their teams. So
I know you want to win every game bad, but considering how shorthanded you were tonight at this setting, how bad did you want this one?
Listen, I wasn't my wife's first choice, I'm sure. So I've been battling an uphill battle for my whole life. I mean, so you guys just need to understand how it is. You don't take no for an answer. I mean, why we've done what we've done at TCU in the last 18 years is because nobody thought we could change facilities. Nobody thought we could win. Nobody thought we could move to the Big 12. Nobody thought we could do any of it. So the bottom line to us is we're going to keep going. If they want to keep us in the role of, okay, this week they move us to 18, and we've lost one game to a team that was in the top 5, 6, 7 in the nation. Now we have 2 losses in the top 10 in the nation, and we'll probably move out of the top 25 because we lost. But that's a good football team. My team's a good football team. They play hard.
Trevon was on the sideline. Was he working with guys?
Yeah, that was what his role was. I wouldn't even let him dress him. There was not going to be even any chance. We tried everything we could to try to get him 2 different set of doctors and tried different things to try to indicate he got better. To put him in a game with that speed would not have been fair to him. And so, along with Joey Hunt, Joey tried to go early and couldn't push off. And so, hopefully, with another week, we'll get them both back for the ball game and get ready to go. Sometimes you got to be careful. You make decisions that cost you 2 games instead of 1 game. And we're going to need everybody next week because they're a really good football team. Baylor is. So.
This last game coming up against Baylor. I mean, there's a lot going into it. The rivalry between TCU and Baylor. Is there any sort of stuff you guys are going to talk about this?
Right now, I'm just trying to get over Oklahoma. I just lost by 1. I got all my passer. I got everything ready, and on the plane home, we'll start working for them. Team's going home on the bus. We're getting on a plane and we're flying home, so we can get started way early in the morning. So it's trying to give TCU and their fans and everybody else paid a ticket to come to the ball game, best ball game they could, just like we tried to this one. So.
Two more questions?
You got any idea about Trevon on Friday?
No, I don't. No, I mean he's better. I mean he came light years from where he was a week ago. I mean, if a guy, you're talking about a guy that got surgery and got screws put in his wrist on a Wednesday or Thursday and played on a Saturday last year. Tough football player. He could have went, but he's smart enough. He's smart enough to figure out he would have done this team a disservice by trying to play against that defense. That defense for Oklahoma's is very fast, so it's, you know, and his get about, even Foster and Bram both, you know, were able to move around a little bit. He would have moved around less. He could have thrown the football, and he probably could have got us in some things, but he couldn't have done anything else in the offense. And so, you know, we've come so far on somebody. You've just got to make good decisions, and you've got to be able to get back and make sure it's an even agreement, that you do the right things too. It's kind of like Doc getting his surgery. Hopefully he'll get back for the bowl game. If he doesn't, you know, we've won a lot of football games because of him. So, and that goes for really any of our kids. You know, that's the way we made decisions. So it's winning's important, but not more important than their livelihood. So.
Last question.
You've played both of them. Who do you think wins in Stillwater next week?
Don't get me into that. You guys have already been pounding me because I asked a question in midfield. So we're going to try to beat Baylor.